Yes, so welcome back. Remember, this is Power Talk right here at Y254. And today we are just today we just want you to know why your business is not doing so well on social media. Yeah. And remember, I'm joined with two amazing people who are just shedding lights on how to go about your social media pages. I mean, businesses on social media. That is Nick Muturi and Michael Wahinya. Niko tu, yani nashinda tu kusema Wahinya, najipata tu nataka kusema Wahinya. Yeah. So, Nick, I want to know, how do you go about the monetization of your content on social media? Your business content, your business on social media.
Okay. So when it comes to monetization, you must first understand what do you want to monetize. Number one, there is monetization in terms of an individual person or brand. Okay. Now you are leveraging on you as a person. There's no product there, it's just you. You are the product. You must know that.
This is like, we are talking about the influencers now.
No,
if
not
you
really.
Are the product.
Not really. By product, I mean people who offer like services like consulting, for instance. When it comes to consulting, it's not something you can quantify like a cup or a TV or a phone. It's you. Without you, there is no business. Okay. But of course, over time, there's a way now you can now put systems which now it can be, for instance, you're into consulting and you're teaching people something like branding. Over time, probably you can convert your intellectual property now in terms of books, podcasts, but before then, you must first understand you are the brand. When someone calls you and tells you, hey, I need consulting service for my team on personal branding, as you see that, they are not paying a product, they are paying you. How much do you charge? No, it's you. So you must first know that. Then how you quantify in terms of monetization, you look at what are the things that you have invested. If, for example, you are the brand, what are the things you have invested in yourself first? Because you can't go to a client, for instance, and they ask you, how much do you want to be paid for this project? Yeah. Then you tell the client, oh, pay me 500,000. You have gone to that meeting, you're not even in a suit, just and then they'll just look at you and tell you, we'll call you. Don't call us. We'll call you.
Because the way you present yourself.
And that's by default. That's how human beings think.
Yeah.
But you look at the things you have invested, for example, as a personal brand, the quality of your apparel in terms of presentation, the price you have paid for in terms of the clothes that you're wearing, what are the gadgets that you're using. For instance, you're into consulting, but one of the extension of the intellectual property is podcast. Did you build a studio for that? People actually pay for that. They're not actually paying for anything else. What was the price that you paid for you to have the things that you're having, the brand that you're having till now? Probably it took 10 years. Those 10 years, you can quantify. You can by the way, if this is a period of 10 years, I've used, let's say, like $1 million in terms of my clothing. I've used, let's say, another $1 million in terms of investing the cameras, the lights I have. I used another $1 million to pay my team. So you see, if you quantify that now, when you're sitting with a client, you can be able to say, for this particular service based on the scope of work, I'll charge you this. For this particular type, I'll charge you this. Now, that's now one extension. It also comes to the other one, now the product. When it comes now to monetization on social media in terms of the product, it's the quality of what you're selling and who you're selling to. Because you'll find that a particular product, you'll go to CBD, you'll get it, or downtown, you'll get it at this price. You come around town now, when you Napanda Jew, you'll find they're selling at a different price. Then you go to somewhere like Lavington, and you'll see they're selling this thing for 20,000. Same product, same quality, but different locations. Yeah. So it matters with how you present whatever you are selling to people, because that's what they will buy. They don't actually buy the product, they buy the aesthetics, the excellence that you have put into that. For instance, it can be like a shoe. You can go and take, you'll see even in social media, you can go and see, for instance, the people that do thrifting, you'll find someone has gone and bought a particular item. They have just come and random surface, picture, they have not observed the rule of thirds. That's the random photo. America, then they have put 900. It will be bought, of course. There's someone else who has gone and bought that particular, let's say like a jacket. They'll go, take it to the laundry. Yeah. They'll actually even put something like a vendor on it. After that, they will iron it. Then they will take, in terms of the photo, how they will take it, the lighting will be proper, and they'll sell that same item for 7,000. and that's how it is. So when it comes to monetization part of the time, what am I putting out there? Then what is the cost of what I'm putting there now as compared to whatever, if it's like consulting the scope of work, then now you can be able to now come up with an accurate figure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So now, when you talk about posting those content on social media, how do you remain creative, like being creative? Because you remember, you know that this is the same business that I'm doing. Let's say for instance, mimi ni consultant, okay? So nimekuwa nikipost content yangu kila siku every month, every day in 1 month, talking about my business. How can I remain to be being creative? Because sometimes people get bored because wanasema tu ukiona hivi uni tu na content yake. So how do I remain to be creative ndio mtu asiget bored na content yangu on social media when I'm posting?
So when it comes to creating content, the one of the ways to remain relevant is number one, to do a lot of research. You may be having that business, but you may be good at business, but you're not good with social media. That's why you find people like us come in, helping you create the strategy for your product or for your business. So part of it, doing research. Also, sometimes, there's nothing new under the sun. So most of the time, just check what other people are doing. It may not be even in your same market. It can be a different market. What can you borrow? What works? Okay, and then also, because you've posted for some time, you will see what has worked before. Then take whatever has worked, look at it, scrutinize it, which part can you change, then double it down and make it better. That's how you grow, because every product is different, so you cannot copy paste everything. So, but you really have to do more research in terms of social media and how people perceive the product. Now, also something else that is very good to mention, when it comes to businesses and brands, you find that there are different kinds of content that you put out there. Yeah. If you're consulting, this is the part that you tell people what you do. There's a part that you give people value. That means you put out educational content that helps the client or the person that your target audience to learn from you, to be able to connect with you, to ask you questions. Because of that, now you're able to connect with that particular person. I'm able to trust you. You've given me something. Now, so in psychology, when I give you something, you always feel like you need to give me something back.
You need to give something.
Yeah. So because of that psychology of I give you something in terms of value as a product or as whatever I'm talking about, then you feel obligated to support me or to buy from me or just to hear me out, even if that is all that you want.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, guys, we are talking about the common mistakes that we are making, we as Kenyans, when it comes to posting or advertising our businesses on social media. And I told you, you can interact with us on our social media pages at Y254 on Instagram, Y254 on Facebook, Y254 on X, like zote tu ni Y254. I'm gonna sample. Yeah, we see you. Okuku Alphonse Otieno ordering kiatu number 5 na unaletewa number 15. I think we have talked about this. Yeah. Kiman Kim anasema na note too down here vile inafaa. Ni Kim na anasema watching live Outer Eastleigh Kinyaka Mass. Yes, Austin Rabbit anasema watching live. Who else? Yeah, so keep sending your comments, keep interacting with us on our social media pages. Na utuambie pia ni mistake gani yenye una feel like unafanya ndio maana business yako I do so well when it comes to social media posting, because right now, by the way, the truth be told, social media is the way to go. Social media is the way to go, whether you like it or not, because there's no way mimi kama mimi tu personally nitaenda kwanza kuzunguka Gikomba nikitafuta nguo. So how you present your product, wamesema how you present your product, it matters a lot. So kama umekuwa ukiuza mtumba na uipigi pasi vizuri, there is something, you're doing something wrong. You better change that strategy. Okay. I want to know, how do you, like, you talked about this, but I just want to know what's the difference between an advert? Yeah. Because all of this is in a play part here to market your business on social media. But I want to be able to differentiate between an advert and a content.
All right.
Yeah.
Advert, of course, is the short form of advertisement.
Yeah.
And advertisement also is the part of the core marketing aspect. So for content, content is now me coming up like with a story about how about a particular product, about how it can be like if I'm the brand, like it can be content in terms of like I document my manner of life, how I wake up, what I eat, the products I use. That's now content because it's a story. You can be able from one video, you can be able to predict my way of life. Oh, this is where I live. This is the food I like. This is what I hate. This is my skincare routine. This is when I sleep. This is the color of my bed sheet. Or this, like I have like 3 brothers and all that. No, that's content now. People are able to interpret based on that. Now, an advertisement that is now you trying to amplify now whatever you have in terms of business. Now that's what we call an ad. Because like if for instance we come here, then we tell you this is like this is what we do, and that's not like advertisement. Advertisement is now whatever I have, how do I now put it out to you in a way that from that same piece of content, which initially maybe I just used to post it for hobby, it can now bring money from that. So the core of content, because when you speak of content, people make content for so many reasons. Some make specifically to trend, some make to push an agenda or engage in a conversation. That is content. And you can see it randomly on TikTok, people saying insights about various topics. But when it comes to advertisement is now, I can talk about a particular thing, a random thing, and I put it just there. That is content. But now I can talk about the same thing now. A different person can talk about the same thing, and they will, at the end of it, you see they have put a call to action, a CTA. Then they say, if you like to get this, more info about this, you can reach out to, that's already business. And that only can term that person has advertised the business in that manner. So when it comes to advertisement, there is no specific template we can say this is the way advertisement is done. Because you see over time, even the narratives of advertisement just on billboard, it has changed. Someone can advertise their product from 0 to 1 million using their platform, but it all depends on how are they or what are they using to engage that advertisement to put it out there. Now that's the distinction between content and advert. That's advertisement. Yeah.
Now nimeelewa. So Michael, I want to know, there's this when some business people decide to use influencers. Like I have this business ya viatu, so na decide kutumia influencers. How do you go about it? How do you deal with the influencer to ensure that your business imefika penye inatakikana? Ama what do you look for when you're looking for an influencer for you to ensure that your business in a stand out? So
about influencers, it's usually nowadays is a sore topic for a lot of brands, because now we have come from using like creators who have millions of views or millions of followers to micro-influencers, because micro-influencers have the communities and their communities are very engaging, especially on TikTok. As we have seen over the time and over in TikTok, they support each other because of that micro community. It's better than somebody who has a large following but I'm not able to connect with them. What they have is numbers, what they have is views, what they have is engagement, but this human element of connection they may not have. And if I'm selling a product that is, number one, maybe family oriented, or you're pushing a brand that is, you know, to be consumed by a certain group of people, we have micro influencers for that group of people. It is so much easier to target. It's more like targeted ads, but using the credibility of the influencers. So that is the difference. So it depends on the needs of the business. Yeah. For more visibility, of course, go for the brands that are with way high numbers. For more of community and you know, having a product is more of interactive or more of engaging, you go for micro influencers.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So when it comes to influencers, the mistake people make is when you want to push a certain agenda, the business is not working, you run, can I get these influencers? Mm-hmm. Now, I think we have a wrong narrative about influencers, because there is an influencer and there is someone influential. When you say someone is an influencer, it means that you conform to the limits of a particular industry. If you say someone is an influencer in the business industry. It means like you conform according to the standards. Like the small compromises that happen within that particular space, you are down to it. But when you say someone is influential, it means like you're a gatekeeper. You're the go-to person. When, let's say, something like Ghana wants to come to Kenya or any other to push, like, to do their marketing, they are like, who is the influential person in this field that we can go to? They don't come to influencers. So also when it comes to that, I think there's a distinction, because nowadays everyone calls themselves an influencer. Someone does does like news blogs and say, I'm an influencer. But there's a difference between an influencer and an influential person. If you're an influencer and me, I'm influential in that field, it means when there are certain spaces which you can't go. For instance, like nowadays you see even artists, beyond singing on the pulpits, they go into like some non-conventional spaces. Like you'll find someone who is a musician, they'll be called to the United Nations to speak. And you'll wonder, why? Because that's where we are heading to. Whereby someone like you are into the makeup field, you can build yourself to a point that now you no longer an influencer, but you are influential, whereby even the World Health Organization can call you to their headquarters, and we have this conference, come and speak to delegates about skin. Then you do for them an analysis. You know, that's totally different from being an influencer. Can never go to those on those grounds, because you need to be influential, like a gatekeeper. You are the one who says what to happen here. So now that's the difference between an influencer and someone influential. So I think when you know that distinction as an individual, you'll stop calling yourself I'm an influencer of this and this. You'll become more building to become influential, so that the opportunities where this other miss, you'll be considered. Yes.
Beautiful. And on that note, I want to know, as a content creator, how do you ensure that you protect your content from isitumike na watu wengine ama isitumike na hujalipwa, especially for you guys who are house of visual, when you're creating content for a certain company maybe, alafu inafika point they don't want to pay you and they're using your content. How do you ensure that that doesn't happen? How do you package yourself when it comes to protecting your work? Yeah.
So for protecting our work, we always put those things on contract. That's why it's very important as a creative to have a contract, a working contract, so that all these things is usually covered. Breach of agreement, there are consequences. Always, even if you're starting out, it is always advisable to have legal advice. Don't assume it may sound expensive, but it will save you a lot of millions later.
Sina pesa. I'm just like a small business person. I'm a content creator. So how can that mwenye anaanza find it, maybe be able to protect the work yenye nafanya? Because I think that ina apply kwa watu wenye kidogo wame make it. Ama
no. You can't say kwanza, because any time that you have a particular vision, you are looking at the end goal. You are not looking at now. Okay. For instance, like you want to be someone who, like in terms of the makeup industry, and you want to be so influential in that field. So as much as you'll encounter so many challenges when you're beginning, they are not the defining of wherever you're going. So when you sit down and you define, you calculate the cost, this is what I intend to do with my life, and this is the price that needs to be paid, then such things will not be like, they'll be like an entity, so you'll be like, let me pay this price now. And having legal advice does not mean there's this person, they need to be coming each and every morning, like this lawyer needs to be coming now in our office each and every day. No, it can be as simple as communicating with people who are around you, who have that, they have attained that caliber, now they can give you legal advice. They have not just studied law, who now you can have a sitting, this is what I intend to do. It's as simple as that, stipulating down, like from clause to clause, this is what I intend to do, and these are the things, and these are the things. They'll help you from there to where you're going, because you're working with the end in mind. You're not like, I'm small, because as much as you're small, there's a brand that will come. Will you tell them that, I'm small, I don't even have like a lawyer, hey, I don't want that opportunity. You can't afford like to play those games like as you go on.
But I think you can't use like those watermarks for your content or something.
No. You can, but you know, when someone decides like to copyright, of course they might not copyright directly, but they might copy paste.
Okay.
There's someone, you could find someone, you see, for instance, you're into media, there's someone who will just go, study you like for a month, they'll begin going to places where you go, dressing exactly like the way you dress, talking exactly like the way you talk. There are some extremes which you can't control. That's out of your control.
Yeah.
But the little which you can control, that's how Mike is saying, they are they are guided within the legalities of now the contract, which is saying now legal advice is so essential.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Yeah, and I want to know, because you've been dealing with different business people, which is the one platform that Kenyans are really struggling to handle ama kupost their businesses? Is it Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, ama?
So in terms of like, I don't really think Kenyans are struggling like in terms of putting it out there. I think it's like the way to put it and the presentation.
Oh, okay.
Because if you go to Instagram and look like clothing businesses like that are there, the pages, I'm sure you'll come across thousands and thousands of them in Kenya.
Oh, okay.
But this is the thing, you'll see someone has a page online, one page on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, but it's not converting to sales. So it's not even about the page, it all narrows down to what are you selling, who are you selling to, how have you packaged it, and how shameless are you to market your business over and over and over and over until it breaks through. Because some people think that, if I go to this event and market once, that's even like a global phenomenon. Like they're mentioning you like celebrities who their brands were overnight, but they are not overnight success. If you have a look at it, they are not an overnight success. So also that act of like just thinking because you have just created that page and put your product, it's automatically. That's why we are talking about the aspect of shamelessness. You need to market your business over. Today, when you market, you think it's enough. Tomorrow, you need to market again. And
also
again.
investing in your craft ama your
Yes,
business.
yes.
Like the way you guys are doing at House of Visual, by the way. Can you talk about House of Visual kidogo as we wind up?
Yes.
Yeah.
So House of Visuals is it's a creative and marketing agency. We deal with content creation, brand and business strategy, social media management. We also do website design and graphics. So basically, when you come to us as a business, especially a startup or businesses that are starting up, we're able to take you through the whole process and we save you a lot of stress or headache when it comes to now when finally you want to set up, you don't have a logo, you don't even know how to market yourself, you don't even know what kind of content you should shoot at that stage or at that particular stage. So at House of Visuals, what we help you, it spans across every industry. Yes.
Okay, beautiful. And Nick, do you have like, you told me you have your social media platform also, apart from the House of Visual?
Yes.
How do you manage to balance when it comes to the House of Visual and your platform?
Okay, so for what we do is in terms of, I understand like House of Visual is a company that we run, and my brand, my personal page is my brand. So there are things which, like, if you go to my page and House of Visual, they are totally different worlds. If you go to his personal page, it's a totally different world. Because for like for business, as we said as we are beginning, for people to come now, before now they buy the service I'm selling, they must first buy me.
Okay.
What am I putting out there? Because you see, I can't come and tell someone, I can help you to get your business from this to this. I can shoot for you quality content, and I don't actually do it for myself.
Okay.
So you must first actually practice the product that I want to sell to you. If you come to my page, you'll see the videos there. The quality is top. I've not compromised on it. And also in terms of like the consistency, the aesthetic, and all that. When now you have a sit down with a client, it will be easy even for you to have that conversation. Why? Because if it's a product, you have tested it over and over and over, you have refined it. Now, even as you're sitting, at least you're confident in whatever you're saying.
Okay.
Yes.
I feel like we can have this conversation over and over and over again because there's so much to talk about when it comes to businesses online. So just allow me tuishie tu hapa, tumalizie tu hapa for today. But remember, you can actually reach out to them at House of Visual. They are, vile tumeona hapa, hii ni kionjo tu. This is just like the kidogo tu part of them. So if you want to know more about them, you can just follow them at House of Visual. But before tuondoke, can you just, as we wrap, can you give us like some final comments about the online businesses as we wrap?
Okay, thank you, Tunu.
Yeah.
So this is what I'll say to every business and brand.
Yeah.
You cannot ignore social media because that is where we are right now. Before it was more about, who do you know, recommendation, But now, when I want to search something, I go to social media. And also because of AI, people have now moved from Google now to AI. So you also have to know how to optimize your business for AI. So when your business becomes searchable in AI, and that is also something we also do for our clients. So for now, that's maybe what I'm gonna end up with. Yeah.
Thank you. What about you, Nick?
My parting shot is to everyone struggling in business. Should stop that notion of pushing,
Yeah.
and you should focus more on you becoming. Then eventually, over time, as you become the thing that you are chasing, your business will be an extension of that. You won't even need to convince anyone. They'll just see that ripple effect will create all the results you're pushing. So if it's any business, just focus on you. What are the things that you need to deal with within you? If it's healing, if it's standing your ground on the things you compromise, you make sure that I'll be a person of integrity. You won't steal clients' money. You'll keep your word. Those small things, they'll be a culmination of now the success of your business. When you work on those, it'll be good to go.
Wow,
yes.
Beautiful. Na sasa tukienda, where can we find you, like on social media? Ni at home.
Okay. So for the business
Your
page,
platforms,
business page, it's House of Visuals on Instagram. For my personal page, is Nick Muturi. Then,
so for me, is Michael.Wahinya on Instagram or Director Mike on TikTok.
Yeah, guys, that is it for today. Remember, you can't avoid social media, okay? Social media is here to stay, guys. You can't avoid social media. And if you're struggling, remember you can actually follow them at House of Visual on social media. Na watakupatia more information about on how to go about your business. Okay, I have been your host for today, Tununifa. Till next time, but remember, this episode will be uploaded on YouTube at Y254 Power Talk playlist. So usikuwe na excuse ya kusema kwamba hujapata watch this conversation. Okay, till next time. Bye.
Y254. Imagine.